Tell me your story, like how you got into the water in the first place, and then what's really motivated you to get to where you are now with the company.
Yeah, I mean, I started as an entrepreneur when I was 19. I opened my first LLC, so I've been a business owner for a long time. I really love business and I love taking care of customers. Been involved in a lot of different companies, consulting, sales, customer service, and I always kind of drew towards that customer service side. Long story short, kind of going through multiple different businesses, kind of scaling up through starting with like small home remodels, bathroom remodels, kitchen remodels, all the way up to full custom homes, designing, planning, selecting materials. I was always looking at that kind of cutting edge. I got a really good product background from that side of it. The water came about somewhere in 2016, 17 range, when we started not being able to consume the tap water. Thought that was kind of rare or weird being from Colorado. And then once we started looking into it a little bit, found out that there was a lot of dangers in the tap water, but that was kind of it. I didn't look too far into it. Once my customers started really demanding or requesting, I should say, a good solution for the water spots and the damage to their homes and appliances, we were doing $50,000, $60,000 bathrooms. So obviously they wanted to keep those in pristine conditions and protect their investment. So with that, that was one part of it. But the other part started at home with my wife, Christine, and my daughter, Taryn. We had two little kids at the time, and literally my wife's hair was falling out, as well as Taryn's. They would just tell me kind of stories at, dinner time when I got home from work or whatever. Yeah, I was, showering and brushing my hair, washing my hair, and just clumps of hair, and it concerned me. I'm like, clumps of hair? Like, is this normal? And they were like, no, it's not. So we literally went the, nutritional route, the doctor route. We looked into blood testing. They got blood test results. They went to a couple nutritionists, even some muscle testing. Like, they tried everything. And every doctor, medical practitioner, whatever, came back and said that it was totally fine. Like, there was no issues with their health. They were healthy. And could have been age, but my daughter at the time was like 16, 15 years old. So there's no way it was age. So that was an issue. And then I started to see visually on the house, the dishwasher, we were on our third dishwasher, about to go on to the third. We still had our second, but it was on its last leg. Water heaters, water spots. I mean, I started buying like CLR, calcium lime rust, different hard water cleaning. We did vinegar, razor blades on the glass. I mean, everything. And, just never really dealt with water issues like that. I did here and there in Colorado once we moved from a little bit east of Powers. We had some really, really bad glass doors, and I tried cleaning those and couldn't. So it was a little bit of a snowball. One of those things that I feel like a lot of people kind of just look over. They just kind of go, well, that sucks, or, that's bad. Yeah, I got to squeegee. Yeah, I got to clean. Yeah, I got to this. And they just don't really think it can be different. And that's kind of where we were. But it sort of drew the line when the hair was falling out. We sort of dove down the rabbit hole. And the first thing we did was flush the water heater. Was super excited because apparently there was supposed to be a lot of material, particles that would come out of the water heater. And so I put a strainer, put the hose in the strainer, was excited to see how much came out, and nothing came out. And I was like, wow, that's, unfortunate or anticlimactic, right? So I ended up you can pull the electrodes out of the side of the water heater. And I pulled those out and actually visually inspected the inside of the water heater with a flashlight. And the bottom third of the water heater was so full of sediment that it wouldn't even come out of the bottom of the water heater anymore because it was almost like rock solid. And the heating element that I pulled out looked like the Titanic. Like, it's supposed to go all the way in. It's supposed to be about this long, kind of come through. That's what heats the whole water of the house. It was about this long, and I mean, literally looked like rusted off Titanic. It was crazy. So I was like, oh my gosh. So I went and bought new electrodes, put them in the water heater, filled the water heater back up, and I'm like, wow, like what next? So then further down the rabbit hole, finding out that basically the water hardness levels, chlorine, acids, methanes, all kinds of stuff can cause a lot of this stuff that was going on. So I started researching water filters. I started just like anyone else. I went to Home Depot and was looking at the little sediment filters, the little spin-ons. And, $200, $150, like, okay, yeah, that's cool. And looked into what it does and how it works. And then, looked at showerhead filters and I kind of went a little wild. I installed 3 showerhead filters on our one shower. So I had a softener, a carbon, and then I had a mineral beading. Like it was the 3 best showerhead filters, and I combined them, right? Once I did that, my wife and daughter, I was like, you have to shower in this shower only, and like give me results, right? Like I'm in the middle of testing right now. It got way better. Like the hair stopped falling out as much. It was softer, wasn't as greasy, wasn't as hard or dry and itchy, and a lot of that stuff went away, right? So I was like, wow, we're getting somewhere. So it is the water for sure. And at that point, I bring my kids into the bath, and we have this master 5-piece suite. So we have the bathtub, the shower, and the shower has the 3 filters on it. The bathtub does not, and now I'm bathing my kids in the bathtub. And I'm like, like, how do I get that water over there? Like, how can I take the shower water with the filters and fill up the bathtub? So we kind of got to a point where we're like, man, we know it's the water. There's more to find out. So here we go. And once I get on something, I'm the type of person that anything in my life, I just don't believe to take part in any activity unless I'm willing to give it my full commitment and just become a professional. I used our bathroom remodeling facility to pull in water filtration companies. And I had these people come in and tell me all about their product. And most commonly, they would tell me about their fail points and how much money we could make off the customer. And I was like, well, that's not really doing it for me. I want something for my family. I want something that's going to be totally comprehensive, handle absolutely every problem and more, and be able to be a one-size-fits-all solution like that, and all of our problems go away. And it just wasn't the case. This is what I tell people, like, there was me plus 4 owners of the company, and it was a $10 million company. Everyone had some decent money, and none of us bought any of the products. So if we would have seen a product that was good enough to purchase, we would have all bought it. So we picked the best of the worst, what I call it, put it in the showroom, set up a display, and told this company we would start selling this unit, right? We'd include it in our bathrooms, like as an option. The product sat in the showroom and we didn't sell it at all. So the belief wasn't there behind the product. So we just didn't believe in it enough to actually, take money for something that we didn't think was going to work. That was a little bit of the beginning of the end, because at that point I was so interested in that whole subject that I just couldn't stop. Like every minute outside of work or outside of bathrooms or kitchens, I was just researching water filtration. So what I decided to do was something kind of crazy. I decided to take the contaminant list from Florida, the contaminant list from Colorado, the worst water I could find in Fountain, and the contaminant list from Texas. And they have all 3 have individual problems. Florida's got fluoride, they got hardness, they have chloramines, which is chlorine and ammonia mixed. Texas has some of the highest arsenic levels in the country. And then Colorado has its own special set of issues. So I was taking kind of like the worst combined water you could ever make. And then I was like, let's solve this, right? And I took this and I actually went directly to the factories. I bypassed all the companies and I actually went to the people that make all the products. There'll be 8 different products, 8 different companies, 8 different colors, 8 different models, whatever. This one's called the Super Duper. This one's called the X Plus. There's one person that makes all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to that person because what they do is they take that product and then they white label these products out for these other companies, and they sell the same thing under a different outfit, right? So I just went straight to the factories and I took the list and I got the top water specialists in the nation and the top engineers. And I said, I need you to solve this water. Like, money aside, logistics aside, how do we solve this water? What will it take to reduce each and every one of these contaminants? Because I wanted something that would reduce the contaminants, soften the water, solve all the problems of water, but then also make it ultra safe. Because with the ever-changing water, the stuff that's in the water, you have no idea. Like, you just have no idea what you're consuming and what it's doing to your body and what it's doing. And, you try to eat organic and you try to do all these healthy things in life. And of course, we all have some habits, right? But for the most part, we're trying to be healthy, and then we just consume contaminated tap water. So it doesn't really make a lot of sense. So with this list, that was a start of a quest that took a while. Like, it definitely took a lot of hours on the phone, a lot of hours interviewing people, a lot of emails, a lot of phone calls, a lot of conversations to get the right people to give me the right answers of what it would actually take. And that's actually how we developed our product from scratch. So there was not anything on the market as comprehensive as this. Once we developed it, I was like, okay, good. I test everything on my own family and my own self. So if I drink the water, you should drink it, and we put it in the house, and it was like nothing short of miraculous. It was absolutely amazing. The transformation was instant, and it was like way more than we can imagine, right? For example, that dishwasher that I was literally going to throw out, within 2 weeks, looked brand new. Like, amazing, right? Just incredible. No water. I mean, it took the stainless and like repolished it. I mean, all the heating elements were like brand new look. I mean, everything looked amazing. We kept that water heater for years after that. The dishwasher. The water heater, same thing, never replaced it, totally cleaned itself out. The laundry, my wife was doing certain very dirty loads of laundry. We had children, she was doing, their bedding and any accidents from pets or anything like that. She was washing those kind of items on sanitize mode, which is 2.5 hours in the washing machine, and using 2 Tide Pods, and it still was smelly, and it wasn't really clean, and the colors were super dull. Same scenario, water system, fully in. One tiny portion of a Tide Pod with our natural soap that we use, and normal cycle, completely clean. The blankets and the pillows and the comforters and the clothing literally got back color. I mean, it was just incredible. The showers were amazing. All the hair and skin problems went away. All of my kids' eczema on the elbows, shoulders, back, stomach, they had patches on their face, completely gone within a week with no creams or lotions, just the water. So the transformation was so big for us. Like, honestly, at this point, it was just about my family. And then once we had that kind of transformation, we quickly sort of had the aha moment where it's like, oh my gosh, so many people need this. Like, so many people need this, and they have no idea what the possibilities of clean water is. Mm-hmm. So that's where we started. And then from that point, we actually formed a LLC that year and completely shifted all of my efforts from remodeling and kitchens and bathrooms and things I've been doing since I was 17 years old. We shifted all of our efforts to water, and we just went all in 100%, with the goal in mind to bring, clean water to the world.